What's going on, y'all? Chuck Numface here. We're going to take a look at this knife right here. We're going to go over it real quick, and we're actually going to take it off as well because I want to get rid of the lanyard right there, but I don't just want to cut it off. So we're actually going to take this knife apart. We're going to look at it, kind of see what's going on inside there. It's fairly simple construction. However, there are a lot of details that I think would be cool to kind of take a look at on this. If you haven't guessed by now, Chris Reeve knives. Umnumzaan, commonly known as the Zaan. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this knife right here. As you can see, Umnumzaan, Zaan, drop point, glass blasted in magna cut. So we'll take a quick look at everything you get in the box as well. Get your information booklet right here that kind of holds everything. So you've got your kind of your birthday card showing that it is magna cut at 63 to 64 HRC. Now I did kind of touch on this in my other video on the Nkosi. You know, I'm not the biggest adopter of magna cut. However, I think if any company can do magna cut right, it's probably going to be Chris Reeve knives as far as larger production company. All right, so you have your information card showing all your parts. Got your care notes. Sharpen convex blade edge at 18 to 20 using ceramic stones. Professional substrates or similar. I actually did already sharpen this. I sharpened it on my KME. I was not thrilled with the edge that came on this, and so basically as soon as I got it, I went ahead and sharpened it. I was like, yeah, I'm not liking that. So they do sharpen them. They put a convex edge on it there. Now it has a perfect V edge. But yeah, that's the stuff right there. Get yourself a little sticker right there. And what is this? Registration card if you want to register it. I don't think most people do. There's also a little history of the company in there as well. Get yourself a microfiber cloth and all of the tools that you would need to break the knife down, as well as lubricate it and Loctite the pivot if you need to. We'll see if the pivot needs Loctiting. Generally, when I break one of these knives down, is I won't Loctite it the first day. I'll wait until the second day to go ahead and Loctite it. So we'll go ahead and we'll see if we need to Loctite it or not. Additionally, rather than use the lithium grease, I'm going to go ahead and use this MCMURTRY'S EDC oil. I've been really liking this stuff. You can get it on Amazon. I'll go ahead and put a link in the description there. A guy I know on Instagram goes ahead and makes this, so I'm going to be using this instead. So let's just go ahead and get some of this stuff out of the way and go ahead and break this knife down. So I'm not going to use any of my other tools. I'm just going to use tools that kind of come with the knife from Chris Reeve Knives. Let's see. So they give you 2 of these Allen keys because it is not a captured pivot. So you can kind of loosen that up. Come on now. Go ahead and get that. That is kind of in there, surprisingly so. More than I thought it would be. Definitely got some Loctite going on there. Yeah, you can see all that Loctite. And they do encourage you to take these apart. However, that's a generous helping of Loctite on there. And it looks like they use red Loctite too, which I was not expecting. But we'll see how it goes with this body screw right here. Now that was easy enough. That just broke right free. Don't think they used anything on that one. So we're already starting to come apart. So I'll get my blade open here and see if I can't just shimmy these apart. Maybe. Should be able to. There we go. So that M right there on the blade, it denotes the magna cut. Now, if you remember too, this one is new, so that lithium grease, yeah, this is Christmas Eve. this one was finished. So that lithium grease is not bad on there, but we're gonna go ahead and change it out anyway. We're gonna mix it up. Sometimes when these sit on the shelf for a while, what you'll get is you'll get a situation where your grease tends to dry up and it kind of gets caked on there, but that's not the case with this because it's new. So I'm just using some rubbing alcohol, and we'll go ahead, just some rubbing alcohol right there, and we'll go ahead and get these all cleaned up nice. Both of these. Yeah, they're not gunked up at all, but they sit on the shelf for 6 months, 12 months, a year and a half, something like that. That grease will dry up if it hasn't been, you know, if the action hasn't been worked or anything like that. That grease tends to dry up. But these, the Zaan really kind of flies off the shelves. They do not stay on the shelves very long. I actually got an alert from Knives Ship Free that this was in stock, and I happened to open up my email at the time that they just listed it, and I went on Knives Ship Free, placed my order, didn't have a problem, and was happy. A few days later it came in the mail. So it's kind of one of those things where, I mean, I think it would serve CRK to get these on a more regular production schedule, because gosh, these things sell out so fast. These are very popular, the Umnumzaan. Both varieties. The drop point tends to be a little more popular, but the Tanto goes quick as well. So they make it in 2 varieties, making a drop point and Tanto. Now I'm sure, with any knife production company, you know, their schedule is pretty much made, probably I would say at least 9 months in advance, if not more, if not over a year. They probably got their production schedule already mapped out, what they're going to be making. But I mean, I really think it would serve them to kind of get these on the schedule in greater quantities to kind of get these out, because like I said, they sell. These things sell quick. I wouldn't go so far as to say 31s and Inkosi sit on the shelf. I wouldn't go that far, but these fly off the shelves. Like if you're looking to get an Inkosi and you're not too specific about what kind you want to get, you just want to kind of get one, you can go ahead and you can pretty much just get an Inkosi by going to any number of websites. Same with the Sebenza 31. Now, if you want to get special editions and things like that, those may go quicker. But if you want a standard edition, it's really not that hard to get one. They're available. You know, they're not sitting on shelves. Or I'm sorry, they're not flying off the shelves. I mean, they sell, but they're not flying off the shelves like the Zaan is. You know, if you try to order through Chris Reeve's website, I mean, gosh, I think the Zaan is like a 6-year wait. And Inkosis are like 4 years. Sebenza 31s are like 2.5 years, something like that. It's kind of crazy. I'm really kind of surprised they still do direct sales, and they don't just do kind of the opposite of what Emerson did, where Emerson just kind of said, no, we're not going to go through dealers anymore. We're going to control everything on our end. I think it would make more sense for CRK to only go through dealers rather than even deal with a production schedule, because I mean, if anybody in the knife community is like me, I mean, if I order a knife and it's 2 years from now, I mean, I'm not even interested in it anymore. But you know, I guess some people are willing to wait, but something like an Inkosi or a Sebenza 31, I mean, you can get one. And if you put your mind to it, you can get a Zaan. What I'm doing here is I'm just going to go ahead and polish the washers real quick. They don't need it. They really don't. This is just my strop. This is just green compound on here. They don't need to be polished. They're fine. But, I mean, I've already taken it apart, so, you know, what the hell. I'm just going to go ahead and give them a quick polish. Not going to hurt anything to do that. Nothing fancy. It doesn't take a lot. Just a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and, my alcohol is pretty much dried up. Get a little bit more alcohol. And just clean that off. Get all that stropping compound off there. Yeah, that'll be fine. Just get all that off. Okay. Like I said, they don't need it, the knife being this new and everything else, but it doesn't hurt to kind of just give them a quick polish. So now, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to untie it or am I going to cut it? I'm probably just going to untie it. Let's see. Let's see. This is what I want. Use this small little screwdriver. See if I can loosen it up enough. I actually got this cut from this knife. I was just careless on the KME and I was moving to make an adjustment on the tension on the clamps and I put my finger right across the blade. So it certainly wasn't dull when I got it because I slashed my finger up pretty nicely right across there. My wife scolded me, rolled her eyes at me, said, "Really? Again?" Let's see if I can get this out. Yeah, here we go. So I guess I'll just untie this. Come on now. There we go. So if I end up selling this, the next owner can retie it if they want to. Come on. There we go. So I wonder if this is going to rattle in here. It might. I don't know. We'll have to see. Because if it does rattle, you can usually use a little bit of lithium grease, which I should have another tube of it somewhere. Hold on. Got a little handy dandy kit right here. Got my Leatherman. What else do I keep in here? Should have some lithium grease in here as well, I thought. No? Let's see. Yeah, I found it. There it is, right there. So we might use a little bit of that when we're putting it back together. So yeah, let's go ahead and just put it back together then. What should we do first? Oh yeah, interesting. Since it's taken apart, now this is by no means the first disassembly video on a Chris Reeve knife, but this is that big old detent ball. So that's put in there. And so the interface, that ball, that ceramic ball, which is like 97 HRC, something like that, interfaces with the tang right there. And it kind of will walk its way over, but when it's locked up, it's locked. It's usually not going anywhere after that. Clean that tang just in case. But pretty sharp knife. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and put it back together. So we'll do that. And these washers are just really cool, I think. Those perforated washers. We'll go ahead and use a little bit of this stuff right here. So sometimes I'll use like a slurry of lithium and the whatever sort of oil I'm using. But I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I didn't do it with the Inkosi, and I don't think I'm going to do it on this one either. I think I'm just going to do the MCMURTRY'S and see how that goes. So we'll put some more right here. And these perforated washers, they will hold that lubricant. They'll capture that lubricant. And they'll hold it in there, theoretically. I just think it's cool how they do that. Now the Inkosi and the Sebenza ones are even more intricate because they'll actually go over the stop pin. Now on this blade, on the Umnumzaan, the thumb studs actually act as the stop pins, as you can see right there. And then those washers there as well, those O-rings. So it doesn't, they don't have to do these really customized, kind of washers, but they're really cool how they do them. I mean, I think the attention to detail in that is really quite impressive. in my opinion. All right, so let's go ahead and we got to put this on. So what we'll do, there's probably going to be a little water in there. Yeah, there's a little water. So we'll go ahead and squeeze some of that water out of there. And we will put a little bit of grease right there. Just kind of see how that works. We'll put a little, oops. Put a little bit right there too. I usually don't do these disassembly videos on camera and everything else, but I figure what the hell. I think Chris Reeve knives, I think they're interesting enough to warrant it. I mean, like I said, this is by far not the first CRK disassembly video that's ever been done. CRK has their own video on the Zaan actually that you can go ahead and watch. That's a couple years old, but you can go ahead and watch that if you want. But get in there, you bugger. Okay, this is the reason I don't really usually do these on camera, simply because I don't like getting bogged down, and I don't think it's very interesting to watch me struggle with something. Maybe it is. I don't know. You tell me. Let me know in the comments. It's a good a time as any if you're still watching at this point. I don't know if you are, but I'll tell you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I certainly would appreciate that. And if you're a returning viewer, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing, but it definitely helps out the channel. And it lets YouTube know, oh, I need the other one. I thought it was locking in, but it wasn't. It lets YouTube know that people are watching my content and to go ahead and make the recommendation and get into people's feeds more regularly. That is going to be way too tight. Gonna back that off a little bit. So, if you are returning, if you're new, please subscribe, and if you're returning, please subscribe. So, with these body screws, and this one should be tight already, but I'm just going to cinch it down. We'll go ahead and just finger tight. You don't want to go crazy. Now, the Sebenza you can actually crank down a little bit more, but there's a little more. Oh, that's pretty darn good. There's no movement in that blade. Nicely centered, right? Correct? Is it? Is it off center? It's a little off center. Let's see. That's better. Need a little bit more tightening. Now it's nicely centered. So, I mean, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of carry this for a day or two and see if I need to use any Loctite in this. But yeah, that's going to do it. Appreciate you checking out the video. Thank you so much. I'll go ahead and use the cloth as it was intended. We'll get that fingerprints off there. And yeah, that's going to do it. Subscribe to the channel, especially if you're a returning viewer and are not subscribed. I certainly would appreciate that. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the Zaan, Chris Reeve in general. You know, anything that's on your mind knife-wise. Let me know. Do you like content like this? I mean, I could do more breakdowns and everything else. I just think people have already kind of done them. But I knew I was going to take this lanyard off. And so I figured why not kind of show the internals of a really cool pocket knife in the process. So that's going to do it for me. Appreciate you checking it out. Stay tuned for the next one, and peace.